What happens in Georgia gets revealed one by one as the facts are unsealed. From the pit comes what they don't want you to see. When the daily nugget of truth is dropped with your host, BKP.
All right, folks, how are you today? I'm your host, BKP. Welcome this Monday morning. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Voiceofruralamerica.com. So here is the good news. We're going to start the week, and this is Jones-Jackson Free Monday. Now, we'll get right back into the thick of it. And man, is it getting thick, right? We'll get right back into the thick of it, I promise. Now, for those of you that are first-time viewers of the show, you notice there was a placement for candidate Kelvin King at the beginning of the program. If you would like to get your card on the show, you can. There's no endorsements on this program, but if you want to get your election campaign card on this show, you're more than welcome to contact us and get it on there. And just like this right here, I'll show you. So, all right, folks, Jackson Jones Free Day Monday. And I'll tell you what, we're going to... because there's something I want to do. You know, I like to do segments where I feel we solve something, right? I feel we solve something. And Friday, we had the ruling came in from the appeals court concerning Fulton County Republican Party appointing Jason Frazier and Julie Adams to the Board of Elections and Registration. Is that what it is? Registrar in Fulton County. And the appeals court overturned everything and said they ruled for Fulton County. And I thought, you know what? I saw all of the people talking about it and everything. And I'm not tired of, okay, now let me say it like this, real direct. I'm not tired of hearing about elections in Georgia. I'm tired of not solving things with elections in Georgia. I really am. I've had it with not solving things that can be solved. And I'm pretty tired of relying on, you know, some of the people from the top thinking they're going to do the right thing one day. So I'm not tired of hearing about it. I just want to, solve things, and I'm not going to name names. And I'll tell you why, because it could get upsetting. I don't want to name names. And on May 21st of 2025, right? Here we are, March 8th. We're almost a year later, right? Almost a year later. May 21st, 2025. Here we are in March, late March, 2026. Fulton County said, you know what, we're not going to put these two nominees from the Fulton County Republican Party on our election board. And I started calling people and telling them this is what's going to happen. So we'll get into that. That's what we're going to go through very thoroughly, what really took place. I'm tired of, I call it the emotional trigger of the day. There's always in Georgia an emotional trigger of the day. It gets the lawnmower man. It gets so many of them out there just going berserk on social media because they're creating what I call the emotional trigger of the day. Now, a quick note. All right. Today is March 23rd, so that means it's day 36. The Georgia legislature is in session. All right, day 36. And today they will be putting some things on the floor. But right now, 23-24, March 24th, there's no session. That's behind closed doors in what I call smoke-filled rooms. So pay attention to the Georgia legislative session. And there's still time to get some things done concerning election. Just want to go here. No, I am not. I just want to go on the record. I am not happy Robert Mueller is dead. I'm not. I didn't think it was right to say that. I'm going to be candid. I don't find glory or celebrate anyone's death. I don't do that. And I just don't think it's appropriate, so I want to make sure. Do I think Mueller participated in the Russian collusion delusion? Yes, I do. But that's as far as I'm going to go. I just want to be on the record with that one. The ICE, okay, is going to the airports, and Trump says as long as it takes. And then you got another graphic here. Plain stupid, right? Look at Atlanta, Newark, Boston. And then here's the post, pure insanity. And boy, are the politicians, this is their crisis. They are down there, they're doing videos. They got their camera people doing videos of them standing there. And this is all John Ossoff's fault in Georgia. I mean, John Ossoff will not vote to fund DHS, will not fund to vote to fund ICE and DHS and TSA agents. So let me just ask this question before we get into our main subject of the day. You think it's a coincidence in the 2026 primary election cycle going towards November that with a war going on, it's a war over in Iran, where Trump says something, President Trump says something, stock market goes down. President Trump says something, stock market goes up. I wonder when it goes down and goes up, who is actually the benefactors of that up and down stock market? I just wonder, right? So we're in the midst of a war. Petroleum prices are going up. They're going up on all, you have delivery. You have a lot of products that are made and manufactured with petroleum products. So that's something there. And you have no coincidence whatsoever. During spring break, right? During spring break, you have air traffic controllers not being paid, and moms and dads and their kids with their Mickey Mouse ears at the airport in 4 and 5 hour delays. Well, isn't that interesting, right? Okay. I don't think it's a coincidence. Moving right along, we're going to get into our main subject of the day. Don't forget, yesterday I watched the Loudermilk. I watched a lot of basketball. And man, yes, I was right there when that three-pointer hit the bottom of the bucket there and sent Florida back home to the swamp. Yes. Gator got your granny. Head on back home. All right. So, I watched the Loudermilk debate series for the 14th Congressional District runoff. Republicans, you need to come out strong for Clay Fuller, But I will tell you this. I watched the debate, and so you can throw the rotten tomatoes at the screen. Fortunately, the 14th district in Georgia is a very strong red district because Sean Harris ran circles around Clay Fuller, and Clay Fuller did not do, he wasn't impressive at all. Wasn't impressive at all. So I'm just saying that's coming up April 7th. Now, what I call the emotional trigger of the day, everybody is sending this to me. Georgia House Governmental Affairs censored my Dominion backdoor public testimony, 10 seconds sliced out mid-sentence. This is the exact part exposing the truth they wanted hidden. Timestamps prove it. Everyone in the room heard it on the record. So I recovered the full audio. Watch and listen to what someone doesn't want you want to be on notice of. Who ordered the cut? So this is the emotional trigger of the day, is the House Governmental Affairs, Mark Cook's testimony and his audio concerning Dominion backdoor access to the voting machines has been edited. Now, okay, got it. And we have about 4 days left that hopefully maybe something will happen with elections. But this is where we go into our subject of the day. All right? Because while, this is going on, they're down there, they're doing tests with electronic voting devices, maybe to replace Dominion with another electronic voting device that's not quite so controversial as they would think. Why don't we do something when we talk about elections? And I am serious here. I am serious. When we talk about elections, why do we leave out the structure that takes place at elections, right? So here's what gets me, and I do not like political stunts. You know that. I will not participate in a political stunt. I will not carry any politician's water, and I'm very frustrated with the fact that on May 21st, 2025, almost a year ago, when Fulton County, when Fulton County said, we're not going to seat Julie Adams, and we're not going to renew her term, and we're not going to seat Jason Frazier, right? I made phone calls. And you're going to see some things today. And I said to someone on the phone last night, because I've been on the phone with several people. One particular person in the state really frustrated me this weekend, and I'm not going to name names, because I made a call to a mover and shaker. I don't know how fast this individual moves that it can be considered a mover or shaker, but I made a phone call and I said, on this day, I said, let me tell you what's going to happen. This individual come back and they started reading this law and this on the book here and on the book there, and Fulton County Charter says this. And so I said, okay, but this is what's going to happen. Well, I don't think so. All right. So this weekend I sent the same individual. I said, you remember the phone conversation? They don't recall the phone conversation. I haven't been given liberty to let you know some of the names, and I don't do that on the program. But Friday, when certain people posted this that are really involved with election integrity, I sent them a message. One individual, I was on the phone with an hour and a half and said, I really wish we would have gotten together, because I did not speak to this person. I know it sounds a little mysterious, but this person said, I wish we'd have gotten together a lot sooner, because I laid the groundwork out for this. Now, I am going to say this. On May 21st, 2025, when they did not seat Jason Frazier, And I know Jason very well. He is just a great guy. He really is. Him and his wife have applied a lot of the time in their life to exposing Fulton County, particularly, the voter rolls and so forth. That's why they don't want them on there. But that being said, I told Jason back in May, I said, Jason, you're not getting on this board. Let me tell you what's going to happen. And Jason and I have communicated basically all the way through this. Mr. Frazier and I have communicated. I communicated with him Friday. And I said, I'm not interested in, and I told you so. I'm not interested in that. Because he understands it. He gets it. Jason Frazier gets it. And I said, I don't want to start calling people and say, I told you so. I just want to say, why is this not as important? Now is where I'm going to lay it out. So Friday, Republican nominees lose fight to seat Fulton County Election Board. So let's go back, because I'm going to tell you right now, when Josh McKoon was trying to rig an election to preserve his, okay? This is no joke. I'm not joking around. When Josh McKoon was trying to preserve his chairmanship, right? He knows this. Here's the thing. When I get done today, Brad Carver's an attorney. I mean, I'm actually going to put this in terms that maybe Brad Carver, all right, maybe he needs to come off the 40th or 50th floor of that building where he works, where the air is, gets to where it needs to be. I'm going to put this in terms where Brad Carver, Sally Grubbs, all right, I have no use for Sally Grubbs, okay? You can all cheer all day long. Brad Carver, Sally Grubbs, right? Josh McKoon, Jason Thompson. I'm going to put this in terms that maybe even they can understand, as ugly as that sounds. But we all knew they were working together to rig an election. And Josh knows that what I'm about to say is accurate. So he goes down there. This is on March 21st. Remember, he goes down there, and this is him in front of the Fulton County, and he's making his political stunt, trying to get them to put these two candidates on the election board. So let me do this. I'm going to try to play just a little clip here. So let me do this here.
Republican Party. I'm here at the Fulton County Government Center. Right behind me, the Fulton County Commission is debating, making a decision on whether or not to confirm our Republican nominees to the Fulton County Board of Registrations and Elections. As I did 2 years ago as a candidate for state party chairman, now as the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, I appeared today to make it clear to the Fulton County Commission that just as we did 2 years ago when they rejected one of our nominees, we are prepared to take Fulton County to court. We will pay any price. We will do anything we have to do to make sure that the Republican Party is represented at the Board of Elections. It's crucial. It's vitally important. We have statewide elections occurring this year in Georgia, and we are not going to allow one of the largest counties in the state to deny us our lawful and rightful seat at the table. So I went in there just a few moments ago to tell the commission that, and we're awaiting their decision. Whatever decision they make, I can promise you this: the Georgia Republican Party will be there every step of the way with our partners at the Fulton County Republican Party to make sure Georgia Republicans are represented, because we are going to have fair elections in 2025, and we're going to have Republicans at the table making sure it happens. Thank you.
Okay, so we needed to do that for a reason, all right? Because this is last year. We're going into, this is why I get angry, all right? We're going into the election season, going right into the primary. We're going into November, where we need to protect our elections, right? And what does he do? He stands up there. This is May 21st of last year. Now, as chairman, and this is not a bash the chairman, it's not. I'm going to lay this out. As chairman, I'm going to show you all the things that's happened. He's an attorney. This guy is an attorney, all right? And he's chairman of the Georgia Republican Party in his second term. And Brad Carver is an attorney. And Brad Carver is the chair of the Election Integrity Republican Party Task Force. And I'm going to show you what has happened under them. And the biggest piece, one of the largest pieces, yes, get rid of the Dominion voting machines. I get it. Get another voting system. I get it. Paper ballots, hand counted at the precinct. I get it. But how come no one gets this? Because with everything you want to do, you go get your hand-marked paper ballots and you get them done at the precincts. And you let your county election boards and your commission put God knows whoever on the boards, and you're not really solving the core on where elections are administrated. Yeah. How about that? Because this guy tells you, what's he tell you? We're prepared to spend whatever it takes. We're not going to stop. We will do whatever we have to do, with the exception of going to the state legislators, with the exception of getting Brad Carver and Nancy, not Nancy, where the hell did Nancy come from? I don't know. I don't know a Nancy. Brad Carver, Sally Grubbs. Get all them together. Go down there and sit in Burt Jones' office. Sit in Brian Kemp's office. Sit in John Burns' office. Hey, you are a Republican. We just want to protect our county election boards. Work with us here and write a piece of legislation. But they didn't, because I'm going to show you some stuff. I mean, it's disgusting to hear what he just said. And I am serious. It is absolutely, it angers me of what he just said, knowing what he's allowed to happen. So, let's go back. That is March. All right. And here we go. So, Friday, this happens. Republican nominees lose fight to sit on Fulton Election Board from the appeals court. Unless the Georgia Republican Party gets an infusion of cash, and I mean serious amounts of cash, going into 2026 here, I don't see where they have the appetite or the money or the stomach or the right people in place to fight this appeal, to appeal what came out in this decision. Fulton County Commissioners can refuse to seat 2 Republican nominees on county election boards. The Georgia Court of Appeals decided Friday. The ruling reverses senior Fulton County judge order that forced the commission to appoint Julie Adams and Jason Frazier. They were nominated by the Fulton County Republican Party. So let's get into the truth. First of all, anyone out there that thinks that Julie Adams is on the Fulton County Board of Election and Registration or whatever it is, you're incorrect. Julie was sitting in that Republican seat or the seat there until the Republican Party sent another nomination. They did not vote to accept her. This is why this is important, and I'm going to show you how this connects to another one. All right, the commission did not vote to appoint her to a second term. The commission didn't. So Julie Adams is there filling a seat. Now that the court said, right, here's what the court said. Court said Friday's decision also overturns the $10,000. Now, everybody, it was the emotional trigger of the day. Even Greg Dolezal, the biggest stuntman down there under the Gold Dome, please do not trust that this man has your back in election integrity with all the things he says he's done and where he was in the forefront. And do not trust this guy, because he is another one. If he was serious, why, when he dropped, I'm going to show you something. If Greg Dolezal was 1 ounce of serious about elections in Georgia, when he dropped SB 568, he would have dropped a second bill. And I'll show you the second bill he would have dropped, but no one will touch it. Only here. Okay? We conclude that when the local law speaks of commission's power, listen to this closely, because these are quotes that I told people all around the state. The commission's power to appoint, it contemplates the exercise of that well-established power as discretionary, one not subject to direction by the courts in the absence of gross abuse, which cannot be found here. All right? We look forward to receiving, this is what Fulton County said. We look forward to receiving more suitable nominees from Fulton County Republican Party, which individuals committed to uphold the constitutional right to vote rather than interfering in lawful election processes, the Fulton County spokesperson said. So, the judge says you can't tell them how to vote. You can't. You cannot tell the commission how to vote. You can't force them to. All right? And the commission come back with, and this is where I have a speculation on what's about to happen, they look forward to Fulton County putting forward 2, not 1, 2 nominees they can accept. Now, what will probably happen, and it may have happened by the time I get done with this podcast, what will probably happen, Fulton County will probably send or vote in their next meeting to give the Fulton County Republican Party a timestamp deadline of appointing 2, or they'll appoint their own. Yes, because the judges already ruled they don't have to take who they send. And I'm telling you right now, I suspect, I'm just putting it out here, 30 days, I don't know. But you're looking at about 30 days maybe that Julie Adams is still seated on this board. Because you got to remember, this ruling was on both appointments. Not just Jason Frazier. Both appointments. They don't have to accept them. So as far as I could tell, all right, as far as I could tell, Julie Adams is gone. As far as I could tell, she'll be moved out. Now, so here you go. Here, just so you can know, this is Jason Frazier and Julie Adams. This is the 2 of them. They're wonderful people. Now, let's get into, now Josh McKoon has been chair, 2nd term, Georgia Republican Party, and you have all of these really bright people. Let's go through some things that has happened. Next, remember this, because I told people, I said these things will come up. Remember when DeKalb County judge, Superior Court judge in DeKalb County, rejected one Republican elections board nominee. You remember that? I told people. And then what did they do? The judge said, DeKalb County, send us someone else. The DeKalb County, the Democrat and Republican parties of DeKalb County have nominated individuals to serve, okay? DeKalb Superior Court Chief Judge Morris accepted GOP nominee Gail Lee but rejected Bill Henderson's nomination. DeKalb County didn't fight it. That's who they put forward. DeKalb County GOP did not fight when they rejected Bill Henderson's nomination. They immediately did what? Let's see. They immediately put Travis Bowden, a.k.a. Q-Ball, if you're new to the show. That's Q-Ball. Travis Bowden, that's one of Josh's best friends, the GOP chair. So don't forget, when you're here in Fulton County, I'm getting ready to lay things out because I keep hearing Fulton County, but there's 159 counties. That means there's 158 out there. And when law gets passed with language that the governor signs in 2024, wait till we get there. I'm going to show you. All right? So, next up, remember, Fulton County delays appointment of GOP nominees to election board. Don't forget, this one is back in September. Now, I don't want that one yet. Where do I want to go? So I want to show you two more before I get there. I guess I did not add it in. Hold on, let me see if I have it here because I thought I had added it in. I know of what I speak, but I'll show you here if I don't have it. I accidentally didn't add it in. Okay, so let me say this while we're at it. Now, Forsyth County, I had an article and I don't have it with me here, but you can look this up. Now keep in mind, we talked about Fulton County, can't make the commissioners vote a certain way. Can't make them vote a certain way. I knew that was coming. All right? DeKalb County Superior Court judge said, no, we reject this one. Rejected. DeKalb County had to put another, not Democrat, Republican, had to put another one up, which was Travis Bowden. Now, let's go to, and I don't have time to do Cherokee County today. You guys know out there what happened in Cherokee County with the Cherokee County, the Republican coalition, is it, in Cherokee County versus the Republican Party of Cherokee County, and who gets to make the appointment, right? Let's go up to Forsyth County, what happened there. So the Republican Party of Forsyth County, you can look this up, and Josh McKoon is the chair, all right? And you look at all the challenges. You look at all the challenges that were thrown out. What was there? 7,000? So there's a guy on the Forsyth County Board of Elections. His name is Joel Nat. Joel Nat, right? And we're going to paraphrase it. We got to summarize it, bring it down. Because Joel Nat was appointed by the Forsyth County Republican Party chairman. His term expired. The guy's term expired in Forsyth County. So the commission and Joel Nat's like, I'm not leaving. So a new GOP chair, right? Is it Mindy Moore? Was her name Mindy Moore? I forget. A new GOP chair in Forsyth County was elected. along with the new GOP chair of Forsyth County, their executive board of the County Republican Party, Forsyth County, sent to the commission, we are not reappointing Joel Nat. We're not reappointing Joel Nat. When his term expires, we're going to send you a new nominee. Now, basically, you can go look this up. Basically, the commission said, right? The commission said, we're going to keep Joel. Your old GOP chair said he was going to let him have another term. Joel wants to stay. We want him to stay. We're going to keep him. Joel Nat basically looked at the Forsyth County Republican Party, the executive committee there, and said, I'm not going anywhere. Sue me. Try to make some kind of deal with me. These are all things that are documented. So Forsyth County Republican Party, they basically call up Josh McKoon and Brad Carver and say, hey, can you help us here? So Josh McKoon and Brad Carver are trying to negotiate with Joel Nat. I did a story on this show. At that time, I was first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. I did a segment on this show of how Joel Nat needed to be removed and the new executive committee of the Forsyth County Republican Party should be able to appoint who they wanted. And I get a phone call from Josh McKoon and Brad Carver. And Brad Carver telling me, hey, could you tamp it down a little bit? We're negotiating with Joel to get him to just leave quietly. This is true. I look you in the eye. It all happened. So I'm like, wait a minute. We've got to defend this. I fought for Cherokee County. I fought for Fulton County. I fought for friggin' Forsyth County. And they just kept stabbing Republicans in the back. While over here we're yelling, oh man, we got SB 189 and it's not going to have a QR code, but there's no money to remove the QR code. And we have all this BS going on over here, while where elections get administered on the ground level in your counties, we just leave it up. Boom. Now watch what Republicans did. So here's another thing. I tried to talk to people. So in 2024, Republicans, don't forget we have a Republican governor. We have a Republican state house majority. We've got a Republican state Senate majority. Now, I'm trying not to get angry, but I'm tired of the lies to you, the people. So the Georgia Senate Bill 212 was signed by Governor Kemp on May 6, 2024. See, we had approximately, and I'll show you in another clip here, we had approximately 20 to 25 probate judges still in the state that administered elections. And they didn't want to do it anymore. We wanted all 159 counties to have a county board to administer elections, not probate judges. So SB 212 was signed by Governor Kemp May 6, 2024 as Act 580, shifting election duties from probate court judges to County Board of Elections and registration, okay? Key details regarding Georgia Senate Bill 221. Relieves probate judges from election responsibilities in certain county, transfers the duties to a Board of Elections, all right? Now, this was signed. Now, let me tell you, the sponsor of the bill was Max Burns. No, Brad Carver works with Max Burns every day. Voter GA, Garland Favorito, works with Max Burns. Max Burns is always at the forefront of all the election things that we try to get accomplished in, right, Georgia elections. But Max Burns sponsors this bill, puts it forward as a Republican, and watch what it does. And nobody paid attention. I paid attention. Now, here's the next one. When Georgia Senate Bill 212 was passed in early 2024, there were approximately 20 to 25 probate judges still serving as election superintendents. All right? This is just another clip of that. I want to go to here. Now, here is the language in this bill. Now, remember, this was signed May 6th, right? 2024 by Governor Kemp. Max Burns put this through. This establishes Board of Elections, and this takes away for 25 counties in the state, 20 to 25 counties in the state, and this is the language in there. Now, why is this important? Because I called somebody on May 21st, and I said to this individual, I read the language in this bill. Well, this has got nothing to do with it. I said, I'm telling you right now, you need to fight this. The County Executive Committee of the political parties whose candidates at the last preceding regular general election held for election of governor that received the largest, all right, and second largest number of votes in the state for governor may submit a list of recommended appointees to the county governing authority for appointment to the board established pursuant to this code. However, Brad Carver, you know how important the howevers are. Josh McKoon, you know that. However, that such governing authority is under no obligation to appoint any person listed on such list of recommended appointees. Now, nowhere does it say Republican Party. Nowhere does it say Democrat Party. Nowhere does it say the Democrat Party. It says the County Executive Committee of the political parties whose candidates at the last preceding regular election. So, you can make an appointment. They don't have to take it. And they don't have to take it because you're a Republican. It does basically say Republican and Democrat because it's the party with the top vote getters and the party with the second top, which that's Republican and Democrat. But it doesn't say that. Quote. And second, it says, however, that they do not have to accept those appointments. Now, you would be shocked. This is in 20 to 25 counties. The bill was signed in 2024. I try to tell people, look, if you have a law on the books, that says that, hey, this commission is not obligated to take your appointment, and this is a law and it's on the books. If I was an attorney, I would say, how can you tell 25 counties they can do this and then tell me I can't do it? And you would be shocked how many counties have this language in their charter. So if you're sitting out there and you think you have to get two Republicans and you have to get who the Republican Party sends and they have to accept it, you're wrong. And this is where the rubber meets the road. And I'll get to that in just a minute. So I tried to read this. I said, in 2024, a law was passed. It applies to 20 to 25 counties, but it is a law. and it's language in a law in Georgia talking about election boards. Now, let's go to the next one. The language is intended for counties that still utilize probate judges as their election superintendents. The bill mandates the creation of a new county board of elections and registration to relieve the judges. The county's impact, those are roughly 25 counties, is impacted. The appointment process. For these specific counties, the bill allows the executive committee of the two major political parties, based on last gubernatorial vote, to recommend appointees. Discretionary authority. The language specifies that the county governing authority, such as the Board of Commissioners, is under no obligation to appoint anyone from the recommended list. Now, I know this is the argument I got. You're going to see, okay? Key details to the language. Target group, 25. Appointment, legal. Now, this is another question I asked. Appointment standard. While the bill allows political parties to submit recommended appointees, it explicitly states that the county governing authority has no obligation. Now, legal precedents. You ready? Legal precedents. Read it on the screen. This legal precedents, this discretionary power was recently upheld by the Georgia Appeals Court. In March 2026, ruling that county commissions, using Fulton County as a primary example, have the constitutional prerogative to reject party nominees and request other choices. This discretionary power was recently upheld by the Georgia Appeals Court in March 2026, this is Friday, ruling that the county commissioners, right, legal precedents, have the constitutional prerogative to reject the party nominee. All right? I told them all along. I told everybody. I called people. I mean, they did this up in Forsyth County. Joel Natt's still on there. They did it over in Cherokee County. They did it in DeKalb County. They've done it in Fulton County. Now, somebody asked me, well, why do you think this? I said, because let me just say this. County commissions, they have dozens of boards. Dozens, okay? Absolutely dozens of boards. And the Georgia County Commissioners often appoint members to over a dozen local, statutory, and regional boards. Your regional commission, your county board of commission appoints the member. Recommendation is made, they accept it, they appoint. Your water authority, right? Your board of health, your tax assessor board. Now, don't get upset with me. Don't shoot the messenger. Your commission is elected body by the people in their county. That's your commission. Your parties are basically given a green light. Hey, send us who you would prefer. Now I'm going to get all kinds of push. Well, Fulton County, in their charter it says this, in their charter it says this, in this charter it says this. It can't supersede. This is state law. I told you this the other day. I told someone, they kept saying, back in May of 2025, they kept saying, well, no. Fulton County charter says this and says this. I said it can't supersede state law. And although that law that was passed in 2024 does not, quote, say Fulton County, it is on the books. It is a law. It does have some governance on how you appoint a board of elections in the county, and it can get applied. I would fight it as an attorney all day long. Hey, you can't tell me what to do. I'm elected. Now, so these boards, no matter what you write in the charters, these boards are all appointed by elected officials. So if you put somebody forward, I've seen it before. The water authority will come up and say, the chairman of the board of the water authority. I've been in meetings. They'll come up and say, well, we have 2 members that are going off. They don't want to be reappointed. Don't want to be reappointed. We have chosen these 2 members right here. And unless you know of someone, they put the 2 names forward. I've been in there where commissioners have said, well, hey, we did have someone else interested, so I'm going to place their name in nomination. They vote on it. 2 people are appointed. Planning and zoning. It happens all the time. Planning and zoning. Usually your planning and zoning director will come and say, I have 2 members up. Their term is up. I would like to see these members go on, but then the commission will put their name. Now, someone out there is going to say, well, everything you're saying, that's not what it says in Fulton County as far as the Board of Elections. Folks, you really can't say if something in your county requires a vote. Got it? So you got to change it not to require a vote. But if something in your county, no matter what it is, no matter what it is in your county, and it comes up for a vote, and someone has to put it on the agenda, someone has to make a motion to accept the nominee, someone has to second it, however it works, and then you vote, there's no way you get to a commissioner that's been elected, that's being paid by the taxpayers on their payroll, whether it's part-time or full-time in the big counties. Can you look at that commissioner and say, you have to vote yes here? I mean, that's going to go to court all day long. So I'm just saying, this is what happens. Now, here's what really irks me when it comes down to it, because I told you when we started, I'm tired of hearing about elections, not because I don't want something done about elections, I want something solved. Now, before we go to this, no, I'll save it for the end. Okay, so let's make sure we're clear. I think the number was 7,000, right? There was about 7,000 voter registration challenges. Someone out there correct me if I'm wrong. There was about 7,000 voter registration challenges in Forsyth County that Joel Nat on the Forsyth County Board of Elections throughout. Your voter registration challenges, and then when there's violations, it's your county's that move it to the state election board. So right here on the screen. Oh, I like this. You know me, right? I love to be correct when I'm doing when I'm working on AI. I like this one because I asked a question in AI and it comes back. I always love the "you got it exactly right." I love that part. You got it exactly right. In Georgia, the responsibility for elections is a shared effort between state level oversight and local level execution. Your state of Georgia, the Secretary of State's office, oversees elections. Your county executes, administers elections. That's where the rubber meets the road in your county, all right? Here's a quick breakdown of how that dynamic works. Secretary of State's office, certification, voter rolls, training, investigation. The counties. While the Secretary of State watches the big picture, the 159 counties are the ones actually doing the election, right? County election boards and registers handle polling locations, logistics, ballot processing, registration, equipment, voter registration challenges, so forth. That's where it's handled. Now, I thought I had, hold on, let me see something here. I thought I had one more piece that I wanted you to see. There is not uniform language let's see. Just want to make sure. There is no uniform language across the entire state. Okay? There's no uniform language across the entire state on how to handle, administer election board appointments. No uniform language. You can look that up. I had it here somewhere, but trying to stay focused here. No uniform language. Now, so what we need, I put it somewhere. Anyhow, so this is what I'm going to say just really angers me. This is Greg Dolezal. He's running for lieutenant governor. Now, he goes on the floor. Now, he's a guy that dropped SB 568. And he's the guy that's going on every TV show. Every single TV show. And I'll wrap this up for you just like, where's it at here? Let's see if I can get this to play really quick.
We've got more election shenanigans in Fulton County. It's a tired story, it's a tired tale, but this one is over the top even for Fulton County. You see, by their own rule, Fulton County is supposed to have a balanced election board. 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and 1 person appointed by the chairman of the county commissioners, which in this case would be a 3rd Democrat. So they've already got a structural advantage of a 3-2 partisan split. But Fulton County is violating their own rule in refusing to seat the Republican nominee. Now, they did this all the way back in May. So the GOP nominated a Republican. Jason Frazier is his name. Fulton County's refused to seat him. They were ordered by a court to follow their own rule back in June. They've since been held in contempt of court twice. In August, they were levied a $10,000 a day fine, and they still refuse to seat the Republican member of the State Election Board. Now, Mr. President, yesterday the chairman of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners came to our ethics committee here and had the audacity to refer to the State Election Board as, quote, hyper-partisan. And meanwhile, the same gentleman is leading the charge to ensure that the Republican nominee does not get seated to the State Election Board. So I know that some of my colleagues like to, they feel bad, they think we're beating up on Fulton County, but goodness, can one of y'all call Fulton County and just tell them to follow the law? This is getting tired, and it seems like the only thing that will work, Mr. President, is for the State Election Board to come in and take over the Fulton County elections. Mr. President, it's time, it's past time, and it is always Fulton County.
Now he's on there with a political stunt telling you he wants you. He's on there with a political stunt telling you he wants you to come take over elections in Fulton County. Now he's standing on the floor, right? He's standing there on the floor of your state Senate. And I'm serious, this angers me. Because there he is, he's running for lieutenant governor. Now, why doesn't he say 2 years ago in 2024, Max Burns, out of this Senate, this same chamber, right, put a bill forward that I did not stand in this chamber. Did he stand in that chamber in 2024 when Max Burns put that bill forward for probate judges to no longer administer elections in Georgia? Did he put that bill forward? Did he stand there on the floor and say, we need to fix this now for our counties? You know, we have to fix Fulton County. But I'm tired of hearing of Fulton County. We've got a Gwinnett. We've got a Cobb. We've got a Clayton County. We've got a Butts County. We get way down there. We got Peach County. We got Gilmer County. We got Fannin. I could do a roll call. You want to do roll call? Union County. I am absolutely sick and tired of these kind of political stunts, and then they ask you for another job as lieutenant governor. Now, I will tell you, out of all the lieutenant governor candidates, I am totally opposed to him because he's used his time that he could accomplish things in the Georgia State Senate on the floor to do nothing but pull off these political stunt videos and then run for every TV camera and, oh, state senator wants them to take over Fulton County elections because they won't seat Jason Frazier. What does he have what does he have incorrect there? Well, I'll tell you what he's got incorrect there. It's not just Jason Frazier. The judge said they don't have to seat Julie Adams. You see, let me say this and I'm going to close. I'm tired of all of them. Really am. Okay, I am tired of every last one of them. Josh McKoon goes and makes a political stunt on May 21st. We're going to do anything we can. We're going to put all the resources we can. We're going to make sure that we get this done before elections. All right, we're going to do what we have to do. Brad Carver, down there at the Capitol, I'll guarantee you he's roaming around the floor of the Capitol today. Roaming around the floor, just a roamer. He roams over here, he roams over there, he sits there. Why, he's the Election Integrity GOP Task Force Chairman. Roaming right around. But you know what? I will bet you, where was he? Right? Forsyth County, Joel Nat. Your counties handle voter registration challenges. Your counties hear violations first. Your counties take violations to your local DA. They can do that. Your counties take violations to local DAs. Your counties can send a violation to the state election board. It starts in your county. It absolutely starts in your county. Where's Sally Grubbs? We're going into 2026. Where's Sally Grubbs? Oh, she's on the state election board. She's up there doing these beautiful little, they're so nice the way she's just so nice. And, she wants everyone to get along, and she doesn't understand why we can't just have free, fair elections that we can all agree on. And then she puts resolutions up that says, hey, let's put a resolution up that says we're unanimous in telling our lawmakers that we want to go to hand-counted, hand-marked paper ballots at their earliest convenience. All right, now, that was, some will say, oh, that was a little ugly, but, that's not the quote, but that's basically what happened. Where she's first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. Where are these people? Right? Folks, stop telling me how you want to fix elections. We have to have immediately, a bill dropped immediately that says 159 counties need to have this process to have an equal representative board for the voters in every county, and this is how it works. We've got about four convoluted. I guarantee if you go search, you'll find them. They're convoluted as can be of how counties handle the rules to appointing someone to their board. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a flip on Fulton County and let's go to Fannin County? And let's not accept any. Let's go to the reddest. Let's have a set of nads, all right? Let's have a set. Grab a set, right? Let's go to the reddest counties in the state and not accept Democrat nominees. The court said we don't have to. I live in a county that votes. What the court said to Fulton County is you don't have to. I live in a county that's over 75% red. If it's 2/3 or more, 70 or more, it doesn't matter. There should be, in the county I live, there should be 3 Republicans, not 2 Democrats. Why are we always fair? Why the hell do we always come up to do what's fair? The hell with that. Throw it all out the damn window now. Every red, strong county in the state should deny every Democrat nominee all around the state. Let them take you to court. Fulton County made the green light for you. Do it. And then look at your lawmakers and say, you know what? We don't want machines. We want them gone. We want hand-marked, hand-counted, verifiable elections. We want verifiable elections. We want to know at the end of the day, this person. We do not want an election season. We don't want these we don't want spring flowers for 4 weeks of election season. We don't want that. We are going to cut back. No excuse absentee ballots, gone. No excuse. We're going to clean this mess up, and we're going to go ahead and clean up county election boards. Oh, I forgot. We could probably do that if Republicans were in charge. Just saying. All right, folks, I'm your host, BKP. I am going over to a congressional debate today, right there, Senate, and Dooley's supposed to be there, and Buddy Carter, and General Jonathan McCullum, and Mike Collins, and 3 candidates for District 9. I'm going over there right now as soon as I hang up the phone with you. Right? That's what I used to say. As soon as I hang up the phone with you, I'm going over there. And the venue at Friendship Springs and Flowery Branch. So I got to get off of here. Look, we'll get back. I promise we'll get back tomorrow. Jackson Jones, we'll get back on that. We'll get back on some other things. I was so, I don't want to say angry Friday when this ruling came out, but I was angry enough to say, you know what? I am flat out tired of people talking about elections while, you know, how are we overlooking, and people like Greg Dolezal on the floor, how are we overlooking one of the most crucial parts is the actual counties that administer elections? It's like, folks, I told you at the beginning, and I'm going to show you briefly right here. If you want to put your candidate advertising card on the show, you can. I don't endorse, I'm not endorsing, but any candidate that wants to put a card on their election, get in touch with us and you can put it on the show. All right. So we're going to go. You can find us on our Substack. Remember, right? You can find us on our Substack, Vora at, let's see, Substack, Vora, V-O-R-A, and then BKP at BKP Politics. That's on Substack. And then we have our YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, website, voiceofruralamerica.com. So I'm going to get out. I'm going to leave you for today. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Thank you for all the kind words about the past weekend. This series I did a 3-part series last week. I did a 3-part series. I think it's the Billionaire Pivot 1 and 2, and then one Friday, and it really digs in deep on the Rick Jackson, Burt Jones campaign, and primarily why Rick Jackson may be running for office. So it digs in deep there, and that's an entire series, and we'll go back to that. And what you'll notice in that series, if you go there and watch all of those, you need all 3 of them, the March Madness one and the 2 Billionaire. Friday and I think Tuesday and Wednesday of last week. But what you'll notice in all of those, I don't venture into the abortion, pro-life. I don't venture into any of that. Now, I will eventually. I open up the question, why is this billionaire running for office? So you can go check that out. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll discuss these debates I'm going to. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until we meet again.
What happens in Georgia gets revealed one by one as the facts are unsealed. From the pit comes what they don't want you to see. When the daily nugget of truth is dropped with your host, BKP.